And there has to be some level of pride that you take in the way, not in the way that you treat, because obviously, yes, but in the way, take pride in the way that the things you do make your partner feel.
If you have a relationship that is built on common core values, which all relationships are, you have to understand that there's going to be certain core values that are not as aligned as others.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of Next Level University, where we teach you how to level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. We hope you enjoyed our latest episode. It was episode number 1274. Today, for episode number 1275, so many relationships fail because of this. Last episode was, where can you be the most you? I'm supposed to say that, I forgot. So, Taryn and I, we try to do this where we have every week, one of us plans a date day for Sunday. So this Sunday, I was like, all right, I'm going to surprise Taryn. I'm going to come up with our date day. I'm going to take her out. I said, hey, I'm going to take you on a date. Don't plan anything on Sunday. I'm on it. She said, all right, cool. So I figured out, all right, what are we going to do? Because I don't have a lot of great ideas. You know what I mean? I'm not an idea man. I don't have a lot of great ideas when it comes to dates. But one of her favorite places is Salem, Mass. That's like an hour from us. For those who don't know, Salem, Massachusetts is where the Salem witch trials were, and I believe I think it was like the 1600s or 1462. I don't remember the exact
I
year.
have been there, yes.
You've been there?
Oh, yeah.
To Salem or to what I'm going to talk about? Just
to Salem.
You've probably been to what I'm going to talk about potentially too. So we went to the Salem Witch Museum, and it's this old building where they have kind of a walk through, and you sit in this room and they have sculptures or statues, and like they tell a story. It was interesting. It was very interesting. Kind of freaky, honestly. Taryn's like, I'm definitely gonna have nightmares tonight. And I was like, yeah, I might too, honestly. But so we do that. Then you go into another room, and it's another exhibit on how witches have evolved since that day to like the Wizard of Oz, and how witches are presented on TV and all this stuff. So
Harry Potter.
Yep.
Did you do sorry to interrupt you. I know.
Go on.
Did you do a thing with a string where you tie it and make an intention?
No, we didn't do any. Make it what?
Make an intention?
No.
With a string?
No.
Ah, okay. You go.
Where is that
from?
You go
first. I did that in Salem. We'll talk about it.
Yeah,
you first.
So after that, Taryn is a big fan of tea and tea rooms. Any place that has tea. So there's a place called Jolie Tea. It's like a very fancy tea spot. So we go down there, and what my favorite thing in the world is when she gets like her super grateful, super happy, super fulfilled smile. Like she gets her little giggle, and it's the world. It's the world to me. So we go to this tea shop, we get tea, we get macarons. It's awesome. And we were talking there, and she said, I had a moment where you took off your sweatshirt, you took off your jacket, and I was wondering what people were thinking of you as like a tattooed guy who's in this like very soft feminine tea shop with your wife. And she said, I was wondering how many people probably thought you were like miserable. Like, I'm being dragged here to do this. I don't want to be here. I'd rather be home watching football or whatever. There's no football on. But that perspective of, wow, that guy must be miserable. And it's interesting because I had a very similar thought when we were at the Salem Witch Museum, because there were a lot of, I would assume they were couples, but there were people there together. And it's interesting because one side of the relationship, it always seemed like they were kind of miserable. Yeah. Like they just didn't seem happy to be there. And it was almost like a burden that they had to be there. So the point of this episode, so many relationships fail because of this. It's the attitude behind, I don't want to do this, therefore we're not going to do it. Or really with the ultimate attitude, I think the one that we aspire to have is that lights Taryn up. Like taking her to places like that lights her up. That makes her super happy. I'm proud to do that. I take pride in planning that and having thoughtfulness and stuff like that. And I've just seen so many relationships in the past, or not my own, but other ones I've noticed where somebody in the relationship is almost like, nah, this is me. Take it or leave it. Like, no, I don't like that. I don't want to pick apples. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go. There's a botanical garden near you. Well, it's not really near you. I think it's in, I don't know, it's like probably 20 minutes from where you live. But it's this really nice botanical garden where you can walk through and they have all these flowers and they have these fountains. Emilia would love it. I'll text it to you. But
Please.
It's like, that's not my favorite thing in the world to do, but I know Taryn will love it. Right? And I think that's the attitude of, she watches UFC with me. Is that what she wants to be doing on Saturday night? Most likely not. No, there's probably other things she'd rather be doing than watching UFC with me. But she does that because sometimes I'll say, hey, do you want to watch UFC? And she'll say, yeah, I'll hang out with you for a little while, because she knows I value UFC. So that attitude of, it's not all about you all the time, and there has to be some level of pride that you take in the way, not in the way that you treat, because obviously, yes, but in the way, take pride in the way that the things you do make your partner feel. That makes sense?
Yeah, man.
It was
Definitely.
really tough run-on sentence. That's why I had to close my eyes. But that attitude.
Kev, I remember Emilia and I, when we were first getting together and starting to really dig deep into, this is before the We was born, really, in terms of the business and Conscious Couples podcast. This is before all of that. This is when we were just starting to do relationship talks. And relationship talks started out as, every weekend, let's jump on the phone and talk relationships with another single person who is looking to attract their dream partner or couple. And we did that every week for like a year and a half. And then eventually we had a podcast, and eventually we do monthly events. But in the beginning, I remember I came to Kev and I was like, hey man, we've got our 10 commandments of our relationship. And it was essentially the top 10 core values of our relationship. And now we actually have 3. Because we've really narrowed it down, because it's easier to navigate life when you have some more specificity. But this was in our early parts of our relationship, first year. Kev's like, no, those are great, man. Awesome. But that adventure one, I don't know, man. Are you like telling yourself a story? Which was hard for me. Because I was like, yeah, probably. Now, up to that point, Emilia, adventure, nature, experiences, seeing places, hiking, mountains. It's like, for her, it's like oxygen. It's so important to her. Kev, we have 97 plants in our home. 97 plants? 97. Those are the live ones. This one's fake back here.
How long does it take you to water those things?
She does it, man.
She must be she must have a system, a hell of a system.
She has a system. Yeah. She does great. Dude, I've come to love them, but I would never buy 97 plants. It's not that I'm against plants. I've actually come to really enjoy them. Genuinely. But I would never have thought to do that. You know, she loves plants. So every time we go to the gym, which I love the gym, there's Hannafords right there. You know that. And I'm like, do you want to go get a plant? She's like, plant? Like, it's fucking awesome. Pardon my French. You know, it is. It's awesome. And you know what's awesome? Seeing her lit up. So back to the 10 Commandments.
Fired up. Wait.
Yeah.
How do you keep these plants alive? She keeps them alive. You don't do anything. You have nothing to do with this at all, probably.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment.
We struggle.
I don't do much.
I got to talk to Emilia about keeping plants alive. We're not good, but I would love some plants. I know Tara would love plants too.
She's getting better. She has botany books. She loves plants, man.
Okay. All right.
And she's coming from someone who what is it, a green finger or something?
Green thumb.
Green thumb is a good green finger. I don't know what I'm talking about. Green thumb. I'm probably sounding like quite the ignorant male right now, but it is what it is. Okay, green thumb. She said I used to have a black thumb because I used to kill my plants. I hated killing plants. I suck at this. So she's got it going on right now. Killing it, man. As a matter of fact, yeah, we're not going to get into the plants in my home, but here's my point. If you have a relationship that is built on common core values, which all relationships are, you have to understand that there's going to be certain core values that are not as aligned as others.
And I just wanted to share a little bit about my experience of Next Level Live in 2022. I've been to a lot of live events before, and there's nothing quite like this group of people in this community that these guys have cultivated, the intimate feeling that you get in the group. Yes, there's a lot of people, but there's not so many people that it's overwhelming. I actually attended this event completely by myself last year, but I also felt right at home when I got into the room. If you've been following these guys on the podcast and you do their monthly meetups and things like that, I have to say there is nothing quite like actually getting in the room and being surrounded by the energy that these guys bring to the table. So if you are on the fence about attending Next Level Live 2023, I highly encourage you to do so. You are going to get so much out of the experience, and you are going to be so grateful that you did.
Okay, so growth is the centerpiece of Emilia and I's relationship. That is the number one most important core value, self-improvement. Our whole relationship is built on that one core value. But these other ones that are maybe not as much of the centerpiece still matter. And so what's really cool is that you can integrate core values and become more. And this is the benefit of yin and yang, masculine, feminine. This is the juice of life, for lack of better phrasing. And so, for example, when Emilia and I first got together, I was way more into fitness and bodybuilding than she was. Now she's way more into fitness and bodybuilding. She did over a full year of exercise, and she comes to the gym with me. I led a workout last night. Dude, push day, crushed it with her. She's super strong. I track macros. I helped her with that. I helped her be more consistent. She helped me with inner work. Now I have a therapist. Now I like plants. There's a million things that are good that can come if you just keep an open mind and an open heart. And here's the real main point here. If I want to be with Emilia, that means that I also want what comes with that. And the humility that you have to face that fact. Because if I said to myself, no, I'm not going to ever get excited about getting a plant. I'm never going to go see the Biltmore in North Carolina. That was on her bucket list. I'll tell that story briefly too. But like, that would make for a really terrible relationship. And so and this is the way that I think about it. We have these goals, Kev. We have this mission. We want to help inspire the world. We want to be profitable. We want to have the most successful self-improvement podcasts in the industry. Okay, those goals are great. Everything that is required of us to achieve those goals is not 10 out of 10 enjoyable. That is the same way that I look at an intimate relationship. 99% of my time with Emilia is 10 out of 10 enjoyable. But the 1% where I'm going to do something that she enjoys more than me is okay. And she does the same for me.
Is it really 1%?
It's very low. Very rarely do I feel like, I could do without this. Very rarely, but it does happen. It does happen. And same with her too, and I can tell. Like when we went to go see Titanic 3D for the 25th year anniversary, I was like, 25th year anniversary for Titanic, not Emilia and I's 25th anniversary.
Dating since we were 8.
Coming up on 4 years. What did you say?
Dating since we were 9 years old.
Yes. Yeah.
And, well,
in
no.
her case, 3.
Yeah. Nope, can't do that.
Because she's only 28.
Yeah.
But it's a 3.5 hour long movie. I got snacks like a 4-year-old. I do not want to miss it. We get Qdoba. It's like, to me, it's 10 out of 10. And for her, she enjoyed it, but that's not what she would normally do. Yeah. She was doing that impartially for me. And we both enjoyed it, and she ended up having breakthroughs and stuff too. But I think I coach a lot of couples. You have to have that humility, and you have to have that willingness and that openness. And I think that's pretty rare, particularly with people who I think are entitled.
I've found it's interesting for me because it's like, I didn't really like to travel. Or at least I told myself I didn't like to travel. I don't know what the actual truth was. But when we go to Vermont every summer, almost every summer, because our family has a house in Vermont. And I love going to Vermont. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love like staying on the lake. When we went to Colorado to get married, we stayed in Telluride. It was like the most inspiring place in the world. Like I said, we have to have a house here. That is a non-negotiable for me. Like we will have a house here. We have to.
See?
This place is incredible.
Yep.
$1 million to get there. You have to at least $1 million to get into Telluride. Very fancy community. So, but I've learned to really appreciate a lot of that stuff. Even going to Salem, I had a blast. I enjoyed it very much. It's like, this is great. I'm learning about history. I don't know.
Well,
it's
now there's
interesting.
purpose underneath it too. So it's almost like the purpose is to light Taryn up and to have a magnificent relationship. But you end up learning, you end up enjoying it, you end up kind of liking it more than you originally thought. It's how you expand who you are.
We've been talking,
same, by the way, brother.
Yeah, it's huge. We've been talking, Taryn and I have been talking about, you and I talked about it too, about going to Greece or somewhere. We want to go somewhere tropical. I like tropically better. And if you asked me like 10 years ago, would you ever want to go somewhere like that? I'd be like, no, God, no, I don't want to do that. That sounds terrible. Mm-hmm. But we were watching YouTube videos on it. It's like, this interesting. This could
get behind this.
This could be something. So that's really, I think, again, I tend, if I'm guessing, if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably not the partner who's the one with the other attitude. You're most likely the person who, I would assume that, again, I could be wrong, but we tend to have very heart-driven, very thoughtful people who listen to this podcast. Best community in the world. I believe that. Best family in the world. So maybe if you're saying to yourself, I really wish my partner would do more of that. Maybe this is that kind of episode for you. I don't know. I hope it isn't. But I do think taking pride in how you make somebody feel is just something that's like another level of a relationship. That's just another level. And then from there's just so many benefits that to your point, like I would never expect to enjoy traveling. But like I'm very much looking forward to figuring out where we're going to go. So
that is, I think, the benefit of a relationship, particularly an intimate relationship, is look at how much you've grown. You know, same with me. I was not open to getting a therapist. I was not open to certain things. Very last thing I'll share here. I adore fitness. Some would say obsessed in some ways. Love it. And again, don't love every day. I've said that very clearly, but I do love fitness in general. And Emilia loves nature and hiking. And so here we go. This is the difference between compromise and integration. Compromise is horse trading. It's like, okay, I'll let you go. I'll go hiking with you if you come to the gym with me. Versus Emilia is open and willing to being my gym partner, and I am open and willing to being her hiking partner, and I am open and willing to learning how to enjoy this. And so we hiked several mountains. We've done the Appalachian Trail, all this cool stuff. And without her, I probably wouldn't have taken that kind of initiative. And so it really is the point of your relationship, I think, is to grow. And the only way you're going to grow is if you are open to exploring. And that doesn't mean you have to compromise all of your values. Like if there's something that you really, really disagree with or dislike, you can do it separately. But I think there's a lot of integration opportunities. Most people say, well, compromise, just deal with it. And that's what those people in the tea place or in the witch shop was probably doing. They're probably like, okay, well, I get dragged here. Instead of actually embracing it as something that could be potentially beneficial or enjoyable or whatever. And either way, having an attitude that's negative is only going to make it worse.
Yeah. So then you suffer through. We went to another place we like to go to is Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Mm-hmm. It's there's a lot of history there. It's an old place. It's a port, hence Portsmouth. There's this like old museum. I don't even know how to explain it. It's kind of like a neighborhood that's set up as a museum, and it has these old buildings. And you go to like, this is where the mayor lived. This is where the general store is. And we went to the general store and it has like old stuff from that era. It was like, I don't know. Remember we used to go to Old Sturbridge Village when we were young? That was a field trip. I'm sure
it's enriching.
I probably hated that. I probably like that now.
Yeah,
because I'd probably appreciate it. So yeah, that's
when
the goal.
We found out that they washed their clothes with urine. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that. No.
Oh yeah, I'll never forget that. I found out that they washed their clothes with urine apparently at Old Sturbridge Village. Either that or I dreamed it or something. But it's enriching. These experiences are enriching, and look at us getting all cultured. Couple bros getting cultured.
33 years it took.
Well, yeah.
It happens.
About time.
Yeah,
Son.
but better late than never.
Good.
Next Level Nation. If you have heard me say this and you have said, I'm just not that type of person, I like that. I like that kind of frame now because we did that episode. And I think that a lot of people are either saying, I'm not going to try something because I'm not that type of person, and you're holding yourself back from opportunity, growth. Again, I'm not the type of person to go to a tea shop, right? That would have stopped that opportunity from happening, and we got a bunch of cute pictures, and it was awesome. If you've heard me talk about Next Level Live and you say, I'm not that type of person, I would challenge you to ask yourself why. Are you afraid to be the type of person who invests in themselves? Are you afraid to be the type of person who talks about their dreams with other people? If so, this is a great opportunity for you to fear chase. It's $97 for tickets. It's affordable. Alan and I will be there. You're going to meet the team. It's going to be a wonderful experience. Everything you need to know is in the show notes.
Same exact idea. I am not the type of person who joins group coaching. I'm not the type of person who invests in their own personal development. Why can't you be? And so if you reach out to Kevin or myself, Kevin at nextleveluniverse.com, Alan at nextleveluniverse.com. Reach out. We have a promo code specifically for listeners of this show. You can get into Group 10. It is typically $138 per month. With the promo code, it comes down to less than $100 per month for 3 months. So for less than $300, you can literally have Kevin and I in your corner every step of the way for the next 90 days. It starts April 4th. Is that true? April 4th?
That is correct.
Yeah. So it starts on April 4th. Get in as soon as possible. We are only taking 10 people. There's only been a few exceptions to that rule because we made some promises and ended up with 11. One time we did end up with 12, but this time we're only taking 10. So lock your spot as soon as possible and you'll have accountability and a team of like-minded people next to you.
Next Level Nation tomorrow for episode number 1276. Sometimes people are running from themselves, not you. I had somebody give me $1,000 and then ghost me for 6 months, and I thought I did something wrong. That is where that episode is coming from. As always, we love you, appreciate you, grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, we do not have fans, we have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Please reach out.